I've been sitting here in my house, cooped up for the last few days actually I've been here for the last couple of weeks due to the coronavirus and the situations that we have going on with that. And I've been thinking about the challenges and the opportunities that come with this. Here, for some of you thinking, what opportunities? Let me get to those in just a minute. I'm going to talk about a few of the challenges first of all, and kind of, some things to help deal with those. So, different people have different challenges. For some people, this has just made it really tough financially for them. They are not getting paid during this time period. They just got laid off because their work has been deemed non-essential. And for other people, maybe they got reduced hours, but they're still working. And still for other people, they may have to still go to work every day. Maybe they stress about that because they have someone in their house who's susceptible to having extra complications if they were to get the coronavirus, and yet they are every day going out and exposing themselves to it. And then for other people, they've just gotten informed they get to come work from home, and they work online, and they get to do that, and maybe some of them enjoy it, and maybe some of them hate it. Okay, it kind of depends on the situation. For some people, maybe they don't want to spend more time with their spouse and kids, and for others, they're like, yes, this is like the best life ever. I don't know, in my past, I've noticed that I've had a lot of jobs where it just seemed like they didn't keep me busy the whole day. So I'd oftentimes have downtime during the day, or times when I just didn't have anything to do and I was really bored. And I'd imagine that there are other jobs besides just the ones I had found to do that. And so for some of you, you may now be able to get your job done a lot faster, which means you now have extra time on your hands. And so, you have an opportunity to do different things with that. And I'll also talk about that in a few minutes. But for those of you who, this has interrupted your life in some way, especially if it's financially, if you just got laid off, there are some options out there for you. There are jobs that are currently hiring and need to get a lot of people pretty quickly because they're so overloaded. A lot of your grocery stores have that problem. I was noticing on the internet earlier that it said, beer sales have gone through the roof. And so there might be an opportunity there for someone. If you, maybe working for Uber Eats or Diner Dash or one of those things, Grubhub, because, no one can actually go dine in. So, there's opportunities there as well. And so, if there's something about the situation you don't like, do what you can to change what you have control over. There's a lot of things you don't have control over. You have no control over whether or not your company chooses to let you work from home or not. You have no control over whether or not they lay you off. That's all in someone else's. You have no control over this coronavirus. You have no control over the decisions that our leaders make in the government, in churches, in anything. We're stuck in that sense, okay? But there are things we can choose to do that can make this a little bit easier of a time. And that's kind of what I want to talk about right now for a few minutes, is some of those things that we can choose to do that can make this situation easier. Not that it will make it easy, and not that it will make it so we're so glad that we're sitting here, but we can enjoy things as they are. And so, there's this old country song that had a daughter, and she had all these, at one point in the song, she had all these little kids, and it was just so hard, and her dad had come over, and she's just like, oh, everything's driving me nuts, and it's hard right now, and, he said to her, you're going to miss this, you're going to want these days back, you're going to wish it hadn't flown by so fast. And I think that if we approach this properly, to a certain extent, I don't think we're ever going to want this time back. We're not going to actually literally want to have the coronavirus and all the panic and different emotions that it brings with it. But I think there are aspects of our life right now that we could actually miss. That we could wish we could have just a day back in that time period again. As a matter of fact, if we're keeping journals, someday we might have kids, grandkids, or great-grandkids who may look back and think, man, that sounds like that'd be a pretty cool time to live in. I just want to go back for a day. Every now and then I think to myself, I wish I'd go back to the 1800s for just a couple days. I just want to live that simple life for a couple of days. You know, the days when you weren't running your kids all over the place and picking them up from everything under the sun. And so right now there's a unique opportunity there because our kids are at home and learning, and they don't have to spend as much time at school either. It doesn't take, most schools have lessened the load, and it doesn't take kids as long to get through their work, and so they can actually get through faster. This is leaving a lot of people with a lot more time. Kind of similar, we hear every now and then a commercial or something where they say that, back in the day people used to spend time together as families. They used to do things in the evening and they had dinners together, and now we actually have that opportunity to see what that was like, to go back and sit around the table and actually talk to each other and build relationships with people. And the interesting thing about this is, while a lot of us have suddenly gotten extra time to be able to do things, we still get to choose what we do with that extra time. And for some people, they choose to do with their extra time things that aren't much better than what they were choosing to do with their other time before. For some people, they've looked at this situation and now they just spend more time on Facebook or Hulu or YouTube or Netflix or just watching TV. I know some people who've said, oh darn, there's no sports, and that was what they watched all the time. And so now they've asked their friends, what TV series are you watching on Netflix? And so now they just took that time that they used to watch sports, and now they're just watching more things on Netflix. Or I had another one who said that he went out and bought some video games that were sports related because he was missing his sports. I thought you just took that time, and instead of spending it somewhere else of value, you're just filled up. So people are always complaining because they don't have enough time, right? I hear people say this all the time. I just don't have enough time. So life suddenly afforded many of us a lot more time. And yet we have just chosen to take that extra time that we have and to do things that don't help us with any of our goals, don't help us build any relationships, don't help us with anything. And that's the interesting thing about this. This is a unique time. If you choose to, you can actually come out of this stronger. Stronger marriages, stronger families, stronger financially. Now is a great opportunity to set some goals. There is plenty of time to work on some of those, whatever they may be. Maybe it's talents that you need to develop. Maybe it's you want to write a book, or you want to do different things that way. This is a perfect opportunity to start doing those very things. For some of you, maybe you've wanted to go on a vacation for some time. Not that you can go on a vacation right now. Remember, we want to stay, socially distanced. But you could start planning one. You have plenty of time, so spend an hour one evening looking at all these vacations with your family and plan for one that you'll go on after all this is over with. Maybe it'll be for Christmas, or maybe it'll be next summer. It doesn't really matter, but just start looking at those opportunities. Spend that time with your family. Spend that time playing games. Spend that time eating dinner with them. Don't just fill it with other things. And the thing is, we have the ability to live in the now, but a lot of people are choosing to live in the past and just sit around and wish and mope for what they used to have, and it doesn't help anything in our present or the future when we do that. Nothing changes by us doing that. And so it literally takes us down a dead end. And some people are living in the future. They just can't wait for that moment when this is all done and they can walk away from it. And again, that doesn't really help us here now. It's like a kid waiting for Christmas. It just slows it down. But there are things we can do to enjoy this time that we have. Enjoy the time with your spouse. Enjoy the time calling your friends and your mom and your dad and your siblings and, old roommates that you haven't connected with in years. Get on Facebook and message them and ask them for their phone number and call them. Use Snapchat and FaceTime and, Zoom and all the different things, Skype, to connect with all these people that you haven't had, quote unquote time for all these years. Don't take the time that you've now been given extra and waste it. Waste it on more useless things that won't get you anywhere. That that you'll then just look back. I mean, what are you going to say? You know, if you're one of those people that now only has to work 4 hours, you know, every day from home, and Sunday someone says, "So what did you do with your time? Did you finally work on that house project that you had, or did you finally work on that goal?" And you're like, "No, I didn't have enough time." And someone's going to look at you and be like, "What'd you do with the extra 4 hours a day that you got? You know, that 2 extra hours you weren't commuting every day. What'd you do with that time?" I don't know, but you know, I just didn't have time still. Don't be one of those. Be one of those who chooses to make that time, to take that time, and to enjoy this time. You know, it can be a positive experience. It doesn't have to be perfect. It may not be perfect. We may not want it back, but it can be a positive experience. That's my hope, that you'll take this opportunity, because that's what it is, an opportunity to improve in some way, some aspect of your life, and to do it now. Do it now while it's here. It may be gone sooner than you think. And for most of us, we hope. So take it now while you can. Don't wait. Don't think it's going to wait till August. Do it today. Start doing those things. And if you do, I think you'll look back with fondness to certain aspects of this time period. Thanks for listening, and make it a great day. And for those of you who are listening, if you will subscribe to this channel, it's Inspiring Wanderer, and remember to give me a like and a comment if you like the content, and also to share it with other people. Thanks.